It was a really interesting and sort of relatable and endearing approach to breakups and sort of the inner turmoil and inner monologue of people who are just going through a breakup and are trying to navigate their feelings, how they want to approach the future, the regrets of the past. And I thought that that dynamic was really put out in a realistic way that felt natural and created it created an interesting approach and angle to sort of see these characters who were not interacting with one another, but were constantly talking about each other still. I thought that the animation style obviously was quite well done. And it felt very engaging. It was lit well. I felt like it was balanced quite well, and I thought the animation created a realistic approach to what was going on, and the characters were very expressive. There was some sound design issues with the audio when they were in the therapist's office, but when the with the dialogue and the angles and the conversations in those office, I believe a therapist's office did come off as very natural and insightful, introspective, which I think sort of contributed to the big picture themes that ultimately ended up in the ending, in which people that are walking away from each other who might not want to or are trying to figure out how to move towards the future. So I thought that it was a well balanced piece in terms of the animation and the themes, and it created a good sense of emotional depth.
I really enjoyed this short. I thought it was very sweet, but also very melancholy. I think the writer and director did a great job of capturing that sense of pain, but also longing in a relationship. It came through really clearly in such a short amount of time. I love the cutting back and forth and the sort of the narrative device of sort of moving both in and out of time and in and out of their own counseling sessions. That the subtlety of the hat moment. Is she still here? That punched really hard. I think that was a really smart move to sort of already establish who these characters are and how they feel about one another. And of course, the ending. I thought the ending. I didn't know what to expect when they re-encounter one another. And so for them to have to say those moments to with their backs to one another, I thought was a really smart way to punctuate the short, although it was very melancholy and bittersweet.
One of the biggest things that can be a very big hindrance towards a relationship, and that is communication. We get to see both perspectives of a relationship, and we get to see both of their narratives. And I genuinely believe that neither side had any intention of informing the other of their perspectives, of their opinions. Sea of ambiguity that unfortunately led to just assumptions. And I feel that's a very real, unfortunate truth when it comes to relationships, is that it's not always very transparent how your partner is feeling. And while both parties might still have feelings for each other, neither one wants to let those feelings show, which creates well, we can't get back together because obviously they don't want to get back together, but both sides have that mindset.
I enjoyed the style of animation, and I also enjoyed how the two perspectives overlapped and how space was given for each voice to be heard. It was a very different kind of storytelling that I've never really seen before, so I thought that it really got the point across, and yeah, I really enjoyed it as a viewer.
I think this was a very smart, short story, and it was really a nice animation style. The script was good because I thought, love is really messy, and it really shows how two people can, not always be on the same page and not really sure where things are going, and it's just messy. And I liked the end. I thought, a few years later, they run into each other. I kind of wanted them to look back. I wanted both of them to kind of look, turn around. So I knew that maybe they were going to connect, but that was a choice, I guess, made by the filmmaker not to do that, maybe to make it even more open-ended. But I really wanted them both to turn around and look back at each other. The voiceovers were really good, but I really liked the script. I thought it was typical of love, how misunderstanding it is, even from your own not knowing, like from the girl's perspective, how she didn't really know for sure if she wanted this person in her life or she was ready for a nice guy or whatever.
Body language and the character's expressions in I Still Love You, it made it very realistic and really easy to connect to the characters. I think it was a very unique setting as well, the way we see both of their perspectives. And I think that just makes the ending so much more poignant, a really creative and effective short film.
Illustrating all of the, regrets and second guessing and, the attempts to convince yourself of how you feel that are sort of attendant in a breakup. The emotions are really coming through, and I think that that you're doing a really nice job of having people say one thing, but not necessarily mean what they're saying, and maybe mean something entirely different. I also really enjoy the animation style. I think that that's definitely a strength of this piece.